New week, new legal issue that we can learn from our celebrity. Last week, Mr. Mulwanda was trending for winning Ngoma Award, but also social media was rife comparing an old picture of him when he was with Auntie Millie, and then now with his new wife, girlfriend. And then Millie responded, and she talked about how issues began in part between them when she brought a prenuptial agreement, and that's what we are going to be talking about today. Are prenuptial agreements legal or binding in Zambia? But like I always say, family law matters can be messy, and it's easy for you to look at them because they're in the public eye and say, oh, that could never be me. But there are a lot of family matters that come like that in real life. They are as messy as that in real life. It's just there are no cameras and posting is not happening. Okay, so choose your partners correctly, be kind to one another, be considerate of the children. Back to prenuptial agreements. It sounded like to me in that example of Millie and Mr. Mulwanda that Millie claims at least to have signed. Look at the video.
Veterans of na niwafake ku forefront. Nizawafaka bandi ku forefront. Na bintu pamene vina impira nipacha niende kutengeza ma prenup papers for prenuptial agreement. I had to sign because the things that he found me with, they were for the kids that I had with Vashmonde. When I signed those papers, that's where that marriage began to go down.
She claims to have signed that agreement after the marriage. So a prenuptial agreement is an agreement that couples get into before they get married. You see this usually in jurisdictions where there's those marriages where couples hold property in community, and then they enter the agreement to show that no, we're not being bound by that. We are going to hold our property like this. Then they stipulate it helps prevent you from taking on, for instance, debt that you were not even privy to, because in marriage these things happen where someone gets into debt and you don't know. It helps you protect yourself. An example of a country where those things happen, where you can get married in community and hold property in community, is South Africa. Here in Zambia, marriage is distributed based on the contributions you made, an assessment of what the intentions were by the parties. Yes, agreements can be considered, but there are prenuptial agreements you make before you get married, are not binding per se. The court can consider them at the court's discretion to decide what weight they will attach to it in assessing what I had already said, being best interest of the children. What was the intention of the parties? What was the contribution? Was this property acquired before the marriage or not? Does it constitute matrimonial property? What was the intention? Okay, so those are the sort of things that are taken into consideration here in Zambia regarding prenuptial and even postnuptial agreements. So a postnuptial agreement is basically a nuptial agreement, a marriage agreement entered into after the marriage. So are you free to make these agreements? Yes, you are. Are they binding? No, they are not. But the court, I think under the Matrimonial Causes Act, there must be a section, I have to confirm that, where the court is given power to consider those agreements. So be wise. And naturally a question would be, hey Wupe, how do I protect my property if I am getting married? There are various ways one can protect their property when you're getting married. For instance, when you have a company, you can hold property through a company, or if you have a trust, if it's properly set up, you can hold property through that trust. These are two examples that I can give off the top of my head right now, but always seek legal counsel even for such things, so that you don't drag each other, you don't bash each other in public. But when it comes to family matters, these two serve as an example of what is going on every day on and off social media. Hope this was helpful.